Hi guys, so let's now take a look at collusive oligopolies. So when it comes to a collusive oligopoly, we are certainly going to see widespread implicit collusion where firms are completely aware of price levels being charged by other firms, and as such they may well offer low price guarantees, but this may actually generate a lot of price stability within the marketplace. However, there can be a significant chance of formal explicit collusion taking place. Now, in such circumstances, firms or even countries will actually get together and restrict output levels. By restricting output levels, it means the price will actually rise, because in these markets we tend to see very high concentration ratios. Okay, now this is known as a cartel arrangement, where you get together and restrict output levels, and as such the price level increases dramatically. This is of course used as a founding strategy of the oil producing exporting countries, or OPEC as it's also known. They produce a significant proportion of the world's oil. As a direct consequence of that, those countries within that cartel arrangement get together to actually discuss output levels and thereby increase the price of oil. Okay, there is another good example of cartel, of course, and that is the maple syrup producing cartel in Canada as well. So that's another one worth looking into. That was first introduced to help stabilize prices in the market, but is now seen as a profit-making monopoly, really, or a profit-seeking monopoly. Okay, so there's going to be a number of factors that promote collusion. Firstly, high market concentration, so that there's relatively few number of producers in the marketplace, and fewer firms in a given market. Another example which is commonly cited as an example of formal collusion is in the energy markets in the UK with the big 6 energy providers. We are also likely to see high entry barriers within this marketplace. There may be very similar cost structures across the different businesses that compete against, or are said to compete against, one another. Not strictly true everywhere, but certainly within the OPEC organisations you do see very different cost structures according to those different oil producing countries. So for instance, Saudi Arabia is highly efficient, can produce a barrel of oil very cheaply. Venezuela, not so. But you know, generally speaking, you are likely to see similar cost bases. There may be high brand loyalty. You take the iOS operating system against Android as an instance there, and a high degree of consumer inertia. That simply means that consumers don't really move from one brand to another. Okay, so in this marketplace as well, there is a possible need for market stabilization, and really that's a possible argument that you would be able to offer in terms of actually supporting the need for a cartel arrangement. Okay, now, with a formally collusive agreement, the outcome level is going to be very similar to a monopoly. So I've just illustrated a monopoly style diagram here, and of course we see that area of deadweight loss here. Okay, as such, the outcome level is going to be very comparable to a monopoly. And that is that there is going to be this area of supernormal profits, and then the question then becomes, well, what will those supernormal profits actually be used for? Will those firms within that industry hide behind the high entry barriers and become cross inefficient, i.e. operate at higher costs than they really should if they were actually competing formally against one another? But they may choose to actually use those supernormal profits to invest in the long run. What we really need here is a good market regulator to ensure that those firms truly are competing against one another. But as soon as we've got a regulator, a market regulator, there's a real risk of regulatory capture, of course, where these firms actually have more information than the market regulator. Okay, now, when it does come to these sort of arrangements, okay, there is often a credible threat that one of the firms or countries may actually choose to actually break the cartel agreement and increase that level of output. In so doing, they will actually be able to offer a lower price than the other firms in the market, and thereby actually help to increase their overall revenue. Okay, so interesting stuff. We'll have a look at these in relation to game theory in our next lesson, and that will really enable us to explore that notion of the credible threat. All right, great stuff, guys. Thanks ever so much.